I'd like to welcome you to Vera Girivi's show called At the Garden's Edge, which is in two parts, in the cabin and also our lower gallery. It's this incredible invention of a landscape that's really distinctly her own. What happened the first time I looked at her work was I said, this is an original voice who's sifting through art history in her mind, never literally looking at pictures. It's a bit Picasso-esque. It's distinctly her own. That's what we love about her. We're right now in the cabin where Vera has expanded her visual vocabulary. She's working on a very large format. You see here a woman seated in a chair with a lobster on her lap. Like, why a lobster? What is going on here? But then with this expanded space, she's giving us a wider range of emotions. The woman reminds me very much of Kees van Dongen. I have no idea if that was in her ideas or her references. But look at this background where she's fractured the space. It feels almost like a mosaic or even like a stone chimney or a stone wall that she's broken up. Vera, in working larger, she's able to actually give us more. Her works used to be about cheery women dancing around in circles holding hands, but now it's no longer that. It's become very mysterious. The title of our show is At the Garden's Edge, and you can really see in this painting sort of a reference to something very Edenic, a woman underneath a tree with apples. Of course, this is an umbrella pine, typical of Italy, so it really doesn't have to do with an apple tree. But what invention right now, the way she's slashing the paint here, she puts these flowers floating in the water and then all this underwater activity. The woman stares at us almost with the frontality of a Matisse painting. I think Matisse and Picasso were very central to her work. What's so interesting is we're talking about an untrained artist, never showed even in a coffee shop in Italy. She started showing with us 3 years ago. We've touched people all over the world, in particular women. She's got a female protagonist who passes through all these paintings. These are women who are living their lives. They're eating. They have families. They have children. They pass through time. And what impresses me is that with Vera Girivi, she's able to get this Italian family idea across. Girivi, Giovanna Riccardo Vittorio. That's her family. She paints the paintings on her kitchen table. She wipes it down and she serves dinner to her family. It's so Italian and it's real. So we all perceive that this is a woman who's painting from her heart. We're now in the lower gallery. What's so remarkable about this body of work is that it really couldn't be contained in one space. We're really proud of showing work in different environments. The cabin, of course, is quirky. It's natural wood. It's this warm kind of honey color. Down in the lower gallery, it's a bit more traditional, but you have a painting like this one. We call it Martini Duck. There's actually no title, but how insane to have this duck on a table with a martini, with a book that says, in Italian, the reeds. So the painting really is about these slashy reeds. She's contemplating the whole thing, kind of figuring out what is going on here. And the dog is nature. The dog is just, this is ordinary life. I'm in Vera Girivi land. This is where things happen that are quirky, and yet they make sense within this incredible imagination of this artist. Here's another painting which introduces water. You have the sea, you have this little inlet, the remarkable reflections of the woman on the bicycle. She's biking on the beach, her hat is flown off, and she doesn't care, she's sailing along. I think this painting expresses a sense of freedom and also woman's freedom. The idea that you can't be contained, you can't be labeled, you can't be identified. You're just going to be yourself. Vera Girivi is doing something that nobody else is. And it's a woman moving through life in her own shoes, in her own body. It's something people identify with.